Lawrence McGinty will travel around the world measuring the rising temperature of the Earth, which puts us 3 degrees from disaster, the point at which the ice caps melt, the point of no return. He'll report on tree felling in Brazil's Amazon rainforest, the drying up of Lake Chad in Central Africa, rising sea levels engulfing the Maldives, falling water levels in China's Yellow River, and icebergs melting in Greenland. But his journey starts in Canada, where he saw polar explorer Jim McNeill set out today for the Arctic Pole to measure how fast the ice is melting.
If it looks like the end of the world, that's because it is. This is the northernmost territory in the Canadian Arctic. But for explorer Jim McNeill, it's just the beginning of his trek to the Arctic Pole. But as we land, there's a setback even before he begins. We've had to touch down at an abandoned weather station called Isaacson, miles short of his intended jumping off point.
About 40 miles, I should think.
40 miles, so you've got an extra 5 or 6 days? Or
well, probably a week, yeah. Best part of. Slow to begin with, so.
But Jim has only one option. He has to start hauling his sledge, weighing over 300 pounds, those extra miles. But as well as hauling the sledge, Jim has another crucial task. Every day he'll drill into the sea ice to measure its thickness. Measurements taken from NASA satellites show it's thinning at an alarming rate. Jim's measurements will prove whether NASA is right. But at the weather station there's bad news from another satellite whose pictures show the sea ice Jim has to cross is breaking up, leaving dangerous open water, what they call a lead.
This is probably the biggest one you've seen.
Absolutely. Frightened me silly.
Really, eh?
Well, look at it.
That's probably the result of warming, a trend shown by the weather balloons released at Resolute, including this one they let me launch. Temperatures are higher than ever.
It should be about minus 35 to minus 40 in these circumstances, especially in mid-February, which is the coldest month of the year. Yeah, it's minus 22.
Minus 22?
Minus 22 right now.
Inuit hunters like David Wingott, who's lived in Resolute for 50 years, say winters are getting warmer and shorter. He told me the winter sea ice where he hunts polar bears comes later every year. And that threatens the Inuit people's traditional way of life and even their survival in these remote hamlets.
Not being able to land on the sea ice has added 40 miles to Jim's journey, now nearly 750 miles to the Arctic Pole. And while he's on that trek, I'll be on another journey around the world to discover the effects of climate change.
Jim will be directly measuring those effects on Arctic sea ice if he can overcome this initial setback. Lawrence McGinty, ITV News, Isaacson, Canada.
So time is running out, the world is heating up. How much worse can things get before real action is taken? The evidence of global warming